We can now bring in our French politics editor, Marc Perelman. Marc, good to see you. We have the French Prime Minister who's doing these round of talks, meeting the different political parties. Early in the day, he sounded quite optimistic. Do you share his optimism?
It's difficult to be optimistic, but he did sound more upbeat this morning than he did, obviously, when he resigned before being asked by the president to try to find a solution. He is not supposed to remain as prime minister. He said he doesn't want to. He's just trying to be a facilitator.
And his resignation has been accepted on Monday morning itself.
Had been accepted, yes. So he's officially the outgoing prime minister. But he did sound more optimistic, and he did say the consultations I had yesterday show that there are good intentions, quote unquote, an agreement on the absolute need to pass a budget by December 31st. He said everyone agrees, everyone realizes that it's important. And so he says, as a result of this shared willingness to pass this budget, the prospect of dissolving parliament and having snap parliamentary election is now not as present as it may have been before. That's what he said. So he's saying, I'm going to continue and I will update everyone tonight. And now we understand that he is going to be speaking on the evening newscast at 8 p.m. Paris time to announce what he has been able to find as a solution, or if he has not been able to do so. And so the fact that he is speaking and not the president himself would seem to indicate that they believe there is a way out. The big question is, what is the way out? The members of the left who've met with him have come out, the socialists a bit cautious, saying, we need to see what really comes out. The Greens, just a few minutes ago, more optimistic, saying, we believe that we have a shot at having a prime minister from the left. This would obviously be a major departure because the three previous prime ministers, including Sebastien Lecornu, hailed from the right or the center-right. So this would mean, obviously, a complete change of tack. But obviously, this doesn't mean that this will work because the situation in Parliament is unchanged. You have three very divided blocs, and it's not a guarantee that a socialist would fare better than a centrist or a conservative.
Let's address the elephant in the room, because he's talking about meeting various political parties. One big party which he didn't meet is the far right, Marine Le Pen. Take a listen to what she had to say earlier on today.
I condemn all this joking around. It's gone on long enough. We're making the French chase after bulls to buy time. Morality would dictate that Emmanuel Macron consider dissolution and his resignation.
Emmanuel Macron réfléchisse très sérieusement à la dissolution ou même à sa démission.
The last time we had a government, the last maybe two prime ministers really, we had the far right who was propping them up from outside.
Well, until they stopped.
Until they stopped, exactly. Until they pulled the rug out from under them with Bayrou, and now we are where we are. What happens now? Marine Le Pen is dug in her heels. She wants snap polls, and she's out to get it, knowing that polls indicate she's going to have a better showing than she did last time around.
Well, so no wonder why she's pushing for this, obviously. And this also explains why the others are trying to avoid such an outcome.
Like the socialists,
Because obviously the Macron camp, which was already weakened by the snap election last year, all the polls indicate, and the different statements, the bitter divisions that we see in public between them probably herald a very bad performance, and so they have no interest. The socialists are also concerned because their alliance with the rest of the left, especially with France and Bal, is now dead. And so if there were to be elections, they would probably not fare very well because the alliance allowed them to get 66 MPs. It's not a lot, but it's more than they would probably get if they were on their own. And also on the right side, the conservatives 47 MPs, they would be probably in a bad position, because if Marine Le Pen gains more votes, it's probably by eating votes that would normally go to the Conservatives. So there's a kind of alliance of interests not to go for such a snap election between the Macron, the Socialists, the Greens, and the Conservatives. So you could say, oh, this would make maybe a majority, maybe a relative majority in Parliament, but it's not the same thing as wanting to avoid a snap election and agree on a government, on a prime minister, and even more so on a budget. So even if there is, let's say, a socialist or center-left prime minister appointed, he will also face a very difficult equation, especially because France and Baut has been saying against this since this morning, that if the socialists are going to govern with Emmanuel Macron, this is a betrayal, and that they would bring them down. And so obviously, if you have the far right and France and Baut, you already have a sizable chunk of MPs that could vote against the socialists. And the Conservatives have also indicated that if one of the key measures pushed by the socialists, that is a suspension of the very, very controversial pension reform that was passed 2 years ago, if there is such a suspension, the Conservatives would vote against such a measure. So it's really very, very complicated, and there's no guarantee that it will work better. And we might, in the end, have the scenario that Marine Le Pen is pushing, that is a snap parliamentary election.
I was hoping for clarity. It seems that anything can happen right now, Marc. Thank you very much for that, Marc Perelman there. Now, the